Hey, hello, bonjour. My name is S.h.e.r.i.s.s e and welcome to my channel. And on my channel, I focus mainly on mental health. And in today's video,
we are going to be talking about repressed and suppressed emotions and how they correlate with addictions. And just a little fair warning that this may be triggering to some. And if it is, just stop the video, maybe continue it later, take a deep breath, take some time out to take care of yourself. However, don't suppress your emotions, or at least try not to, okay? But before we get into it, I'm going to tell you about what I'm doing in the video. It is brunch time, so I am making brunch, and the store ran out of hash browns, so I had to make homemade hash browns, and then this potato ended up getting stuck because it was too big. It may look like I'm really pushing down in it, but I'm actually not pushing down in it because this thing was only from Walmart and it might break. So I was being really careful. So instead of forcing it through, I started chipping away at it to get the potato out. And I also don't cook very often, as much as I would like to. But when I do, I feel like I have to go all out. You know what I'm saying? So if you hear my son in the background, it's because he's in the background. I am a stay-at-home mom, okay? So, you know, my son's always going to be in the background, regardless. I mean, I'll try hide. I'll do the best I can, but he always finds me. Always. And he likes being around me, so it's like, you know, kind of makes me feel good. Like, imagine if he didn't want to be around me. What would that say about me? What would that say about my dog? And they want to be around me all the time. It's kind of annoying a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Like, boundaries, sir. Sir, boundaries. Okay. Anyway, now that you know, I am cooking up a storm here for my res family on my res. So first and foremost, we're going to be talking about repressed and suppressed emotions, and also let you know what the difference is between repressed and suppressed emotions. So repressed emotions often stems from a traumatizing childhood experience, or perhaps as a child, your caregiver taught you to, ignore your positive or negative emotions. Repression can also be known as blocking, which is like blocking out memories or emotions. And it's also unconscious. So a lot of the times we won't really know that we're doing it. And suppressed emotions are feelings which you intentionally avoid.
If anybody out there has some really good pots and pans suggestions, because I really don't know. And they keep warping. And I did everything that they told me to.
So for example, say you have a bad argument with your significant other the other night, but you have an important meeting to attend to in the morning. So you might choose to suppress how you are feeling about the argument until you make it through that meeting when you have the time and energy to focus more on your feelings. That is an example of suppressing emotions. It's okay to go ahead and do this as long as you know that it's important to return and address what you are avoiding as soon as possible, or as soon as your feelings are, I would say, when you're calm, when you're collected, when you have all your thoughts together. Now, with repressed emotions, they are never really processed. So the problem with this is, they don't just go away. They'll likely show up in the future as an adult. And oftentimes in, psychological forms or physical forms, like having a hard time sleeping or eating, or phobias and fears. My dish soap froze. Okay, we're going to talk about my personal experience with this. Some of the dates may sound a little confusing, but try to keep up. A few months after I got clean from alcohol in 2012, I started having triggers that brought back repressed memories, and they were unpleasant. I was prescribed antidepressants, anti-anxiety medication, and also medication to help me sleep. And I also wasn't consistent with my counseling sessions for the year of 2012 to 2013 because it was difficult for me to travel an hour away from home. I got pregnant with my second child, and I had to switch medication that was safe for me to take while I was pregnant. And about 10 months after I had our second child, I had to stop breastfeeding because I was really struggling with my depression and anxiety, which was also repressed memories. So the medication needed to be stronger and it wouldn't be safe for my baby, and my doctor felt it was necessary. In 2014, I went back into counseling for less than a year, but I didn't follow through and fell into the addiction phase in 2015 to 2017 to prescription medication.
He took my water bottle and spilled it out. So I watched him the last time. He goes into the bathroom and he dumps out the water, and then he plays with the bottling. So he's not allowed. You are not allowed to have any water bottles anymore. No. You're wasting them. Go. So he probably wasted at least 30 of the water bottles. These dishes and put them away.
So anyway, so basically anytime I had a trigger or an unpleasant memory, I took a pill. And I'll give more details about it later on in a video. Around the end of May 2017 is when I started to wean myself from all of the medications. Around the end of June, early July, I found out I was pregnant with our third child, and he honestly was the main motivation for me to quit. And I tried quitting so many times throughout the year, you know, before I finally got through it. But I just want to say that when you withdraw from alcohol and drugs, the symptoms are so awful, you know? So I understand how hard it is to quit alcohol and drugs. Those symptoms fucking suck. After I had my third son, I did go through postpartum depression again, and I did also have a brief separation with my husband because of it. But no matter how many times I told him he deserves better, he, you know, let me have my space, but he never gave up on me. For everything that I'm going through and everything that I've been through, he's been my biggest support. And he never makes me feel bad about my emotions. And nor has he ever made me feel bad or ashamed to be me. Like if I wanted to paint my entire house black, he would paint my entire house black for me. If I want a coffin bookshelf, well, he'll make me a coffin bookshelf. I know how lucky I am to have the man that I do. Honestly, his mama and his sisters raised him well, so. But anyway, it took some years from 2018 to now to really work on myself and to confront all of the repressed memories I had. I might have said that wrong, repressed. And it really was no easy task, you know. There were times where I felt like I wanted to give up and just, you know, live life as was. But, you know, I didn't give up. I kept at it. And eventually I came to the understanding that a lot of my anxieties, my depression, you know, my PTSD, they all came from repressed memories and not knowing how to deal with them. But there are so much techniques and methods that therapy can offer to help you get through all of this. And these techniques you'll carry with you forever. Like even today, I still utilize a lot of the techniques that I was taught in therapy. Now let's take a little break from that conversation and talk a little bit about my boys. So both my boys are really encouraging. So anytime I cook or I'm doing a project or something, they're like my biggest fans. You know, they cheer for me. They give me so much encouragement, like, num num, like, Mom, it smells yum, and, you know, stuff like that. And I feel like they picked up that trait from their dad because every single time I'm cooking or cleaning or something, he's always giving me encouragement. Even as something as, you know, simple or small as finishing the dishes, my family is very big on like encouraging and cheering on, you know what I'm saying? So it definitely makes you want to keep doing it, you know? Story time, over. So for years, I allowed a lot of these memories to determine my future. I allowed all of these anxieties and these fears to stop me from living the best life that I possibly could. And I truly believe that each and every single one of us has the power, the strength, you know, the resiliency to move forward. There's this quote that has stuck with me for many, many years. And I'm not exactly sure who said it first. I mean, there's arguments about who said it first or who said it, you know, originally. And the quote goes like this: victims will say, "Why me?" But survivors will say, "What's next?" And it really made me realize that for so many years I victimized myself. You know, I always just say, "Why me? I don't deserve this." Now I'm like, okay, that happened. Whatever. There's nothing I can do. Move on. So at this point, you should have a little bit of understanding about what repressed memories are, what they do, that they can correlate with addictions as well. I want to talk to you about continuality of care and the importance of continuality of care. Basically, medication alone is not going to stop your repressed memories from coming through, nor is it going to stop from all the issues or problems that you may have or may be experiencing. Continuality of care is especially important when you are coming home from rehab. This means making sure you keep up with your doctor's appointments, seeing your nurse, also your addictions counselor or your therapist, whatever counselor you choose, or even your life coach. And I know self-care seems to be complicated sometimes, but it doesn't actually have to be complicated. And it's actually not complicated at all. You know what I mean? Self-care isn't always just about bathing or exercising or going to the salon. You know, it could be sitting in your car to find some peace and quiet. It could be sitting at your kitchen table, just listening to music. You know, self-care isn't always cleaning. You know, it isn't always playing with a pet, or it isn't always planting. You know, self-care is just where you focus on yourself and you take care of yourself in the best way you want to. Not the way they tell you to, like, oh, you got to go get your nails done. Oh, you got to go get your makeup done. Oh, we got to go shopping. No, you do self-care how you want to do it. And you don't need a big group of people to do your own self-care. That's why they call it self-care. And also, if anybody out there can give me some good recommendations on like spatulas, cooking utensils, or whatever they're called, because mine keeps breaking. And I need help, okay? I don't know what to do. So, brunch is almost done, and we are getting close to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed watching. And if you watched all the way through, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Not very many people do. But also, if you did watch all the way through, I hope you took something from this. And whatever it is that you find, my biggest hope is that you find strength. Anyway, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye!
Bruno here. Okay, he's been adopted by our family. He had like an eye infection when he first came to us, and you spread it everywhere. But I understand why your parents couldn't take care of you and why they gave you away. It happens.
For the sake of your life and your loved ones, I give you my full permission to repress these dance moves. They will do nothing for your mental health but damage you. I'm like a professional.